Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Pope Metallicus, and welcome to episode 3 of Rock and Roll Religion, where I take some of the albums I'm listening to, some of the ones you guys recommend to me, and I break them down track by track and let you know if they're worth your time, or more importantly, worth your money. So without further ado, this one got sent to me by Mr. 32 Flavors and Nick Weiser, a fellow YouTuber. You might have heard of him, and if you haven't, go check his channel out. He's really, really solid dude, and he knows his stuff when it comes to metal, which this is certainly no exception. This is going to be the first album by the band Fortress from the US. Really solid NWO THM band, new wave of traditional heavy metal. And it's got that really, really nice 80s sound to it. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first track on this album is Lost Forever, which there really is no intro to this album. It's just straight ahead, pedal to the metal, just double bass speed metal everybody that's a fan of the 80s heavy metal scene is going to immediately just gravitate towards. Going into possibly my favorite track on this record, which is number 2, Devil's Wheel, which got a very, very slick intro, very Maiden-esque. Thinking like Killers through to like Power Slave, that era of Maiden. You guys are going to be right at home with this one. It's a little slower than the first track, which is not a bad thing. It kind of shows you that they're not just a one tempo band. They can play different types of stuff and still make it sound good. So that's always good to see. Track 3, Anguish, very ominous power metal intro, which very 80s with a lot of synth, which I really like. It's got a really awesome chorus, very catchy, and the drum work on this one by Rob Duran is really impressive. So, so we're off to a good start here. Track 4 is Red Light Runner, which pretty much is exactly what it says. It's straight ahead speed metal. You guys are going to be right at home with it. There's no real tricks in here. It's just pretty straightforward, and I really enjoy that about it. Track 5 is Find Yourself, which is immediately will conjure comparisons to The Trooper by Iron Maiden. It's got that galloping riff, got that operatic vocal by Chris Nunez, and when you hear this track, it is immediately going to remind you of The Trooper, just 100%. And that is not a bad thing. That's one of Maiden's classics, and it's a sound that I'm glad to see coming back. Moving into track 6, which is Children of the Night. It's got a slower, very epic power metal track. It's got a solid riff with a lot of technical lead work by Philly Bibiano, which is his name. I could be pronouncing that wrong. I'm known for that. So if you see this, and I did, I apologize. But continuing on to The Passage, which is track 7. It's got a very slow, very mournful tone to it. It's a clean tone. There's no real distortion there. Or it's a very toned down distortion. It's very slow, very kind of it's a very different gear for them, and it's really does catch you off guard when it goes into the last track, which is the title track, Don't Spare the Wicked, which just immediately kicks off with that double bass tone and just that balls out heavy metal sound, and it has a very neoclassical Yngwie guitar style, and kind of pulls off some King Diamond-esque vocals with that kind of eerie tone to his voice, which is really cool. And that ends out the album, and my thoughts on it, it's only 29 minutes long, so it's not a long album, and yet it doesn't feel rushed. It feels like they came out and did everything they needed to do. It's a very complete record. They did everything they wanted to with it, and as a first outing for this band, if this is the way they continue going forward, I think we have some really spectacular stuff to look forward to in their future. Overall, I'd give this one about an 8 out of 10, which is not a bad thing for your first record. It's fairly standard for NWO THM fans. It's got a slight power metal vibe to it, which I think you guys will really appreciate. It's really a solid base to start off a career with. And I would love to see them branch out a little bit more and kind of develop their sound a little bit more for their next record. But we'll have to wait and see. This album came out in 2021, so we probably have a little bit to wait until we get another one from them. But well worth the wait, probably. That's my prediction, anyways. So that's going to do it for this record. As always, if you liked the video, go ahead and click that like button. If you didn't, go ahead and click the dislike button. If you want to hear more from me, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. It's going to help me out a lot. If you want me to review something, go ahead and leave it in the comments. I read every single one of them, at least for now. So I will definitely get to it, and if you want me to review it, it will go on the list. I have a list right next to me where I write everything down. So without that any further waffling from me, I will close this one out. Thanks for stopping by. Stay healthy, stay safe. I love you all, and I'll catch you next time.